Good evening and welcome to tonight's regional news. Starting off in Trinidad and Tobago, police have detained 35 women and 16 men following a raid at the Copacabana Hotel in Dundonald Street, Port of Spain, Trinidad. The women are between the ages 18 to 32. They all speak Spanish, with a few knowing basic English, police said. They are from Venezuela and the Dominican Republic. The 51 were held during a police operation conducted by officers of the Port of Spain division led by ACP Williams. The operation began at 11 p.m. on Thursday and ended 4 hours later. Upon questioning the individuals, the women could not provide documentation for their legal stay in the country, and as a result, they were detained. Police said the 16 men in the compound were also detained. These men were between the ages of 21 to 42, however, 4 are not from this country. Additionally, one of the 16 men was held with a quantity of marijuana, while a businessman was detained on injuries of soliciting prostitution, being in the country illegally, and other offenses under the Liquor License Act. In July, police raided the same hotel and detained 20 females, 3 of whom were minors. And now we turn our attention to the Bahamas. Ebola could make its way to the Bahamas as fears of the deadly virus spark officials to put the country on high alert. It comes after the island nation's health department issued a high alert for the virus and the potential arrival in the form of international visitors. Doctors and support workers from abroad flocked to the nation to assist local teams after Bahamas endured Hurricane Dorian in September. This led to the Bahamas Ministry of Health to keep a close watch on visitors' travel history. Officials want to make sure to know whether any visitors had previously been in places where Ebola is present. Minister of Health Dr. Dwayne Sands revealed that officials were in the process of delivering sensitization training sessions with customs, airports, and immigration and health personnel. Fears of a virus outbreak stem from the current situation in Central Africa, where Ebola has ravaged widespread areas. There were a total of 3,268 cases of Ebola recorded in Central African countries, with the death rate being at 67%, according to the World Health Organization. It has led the organization to classify the outbreak as a global emergency. And now for our final story coming out of Barbados. Managing Director of the Barbados Port Inc., David Jean-Marie, is assuring Barbadians that security protocols which govern shipments passing through the Bridgetown port are not in any way compromised, even as some persons have complained of damages to their cargo due to the recent congestion at the port. Last week, one shipper and 2 custom brokers stated that they were seeing a troubling increase in the number of clients who have had items damaged while in the care of the port. The consensus among the complaints was that while it is not uncommon for a few incidents to occur, they believe that the occurrences have increased during the recent delays caused by the transition to the world system, which began last month. The custom brokers went on to describe a state of congestion at the port, saying that even as the aisles of the storage shed are now crammed with barrels and packages, they believe that this congestion has accounted for the increase in damages to shipments. However, when asked about the concerns raised, Jean-Marie insisted that packages at the Bridgetown port were being handled with the strictest safety standards. Jean-Marie maintained that there has been no increase in the number of complaints about cargo being damaged at the port. He also pointed out that it was difficult to determine which transshipment point packages would have sustained damages. Well, that has brought us to the end of tonight's regional news. Thank you for watching. Back to you, Javon.